It was a windy night on the island of Sodor, and because of this, the engines found it hard to go to sleep. James was the first one to start complaining. "Just listen to the noise of that wind," he moaned. "How often is this going to happen all night?" "I don't think it's this bad," reached Stanley from behind. "It's romantic." He had been shunting at Titmouth Yard all day, and it was too late for him to go back to Great Waterton. "Don't say things like that, Stanley," reached James. "I'm in the same berth as you," he huffed. "My driver told me a story, and I thought of one as well. Would you all like to hear it?" he asked. James just sighed. He thought it was going to be a rubbish story. "Oh yes, do tell," said the other engines, and they all listened carefully. "It's called Drive By Me, and it all took place years ago, but it was all hushed up. It's about 4 cars who went looking for a heap of scrap, but instead, they find themselves." "And a heap of scrap?" asked Percy. "Yes, Percy, and also a heap of scrap," sighed Thomas. The year was 1955, and there were 4 cars in a gang. They never had friends like the ones they had each other when they were young. There was a red one called Lightning McChance, a blue one called Docky Guljon, and a green one called Ram Chambers, and he was the leader of the gang. And then finally, there was the brown tow truck called Mate Brown, old Percy and Brown, and I can still picture him now, old Percy, Rusty and Brown. One day, he told the vehicles that he had found a dead heap of scrap, and suggested they go and have a look. Everyone agreed, and they set off on their long journey, singing songs as they went. They decided to cut through old Diesel Pressman's scrapyard, even though legend had it that if anyone caught on the Forbidden Land will be chopped up to the cry of Chopper's Claw. "I've got a bad feeling about this," groaned Lightning. Then they heard a voice. "Oi, what do you cars think you're doing?" "Oh man, it's him!" groaned Ram. "That's right, I'm old Diesel Pressman. I'm on the scrapyard. I'm cranky because all my stuff is junk. Why can't we Diesels have nice things?" "Chopper, sick 'em, boy!" Grrr. But before Chopper's claw could do anything, the cars have already gone and carried on their long journey. Next, they came across an old railway bridge, but it hadn't had any side supports to hold it. "Man, it's sure is dangerous. Couldn't we have taken a tow truck?" groaned Ram. "They don't allow rusty tow trucks, remember," said Lightning. As they rolled onto the bridge, the others were worried. "Does anyone know when the next train is scheduled?" asked Lightning. "Don't worry. If a train comes, I'll warn you all in slow motion." "Okay," said Docky. Mater stayed where he was and felt the track just in case it was coming on his line. Then he heard a chopping sound, and it was getting closer and closer. It could only mean one thing. "Train!" cried Mate. The car rolled off the bridge and got out of the way just in time. "Well, there it is," said Docky. "They have found the heap of scrap. None of them could breathe. As for twisted, mangled scrap they've ever seen, looked more rusty and disgusting than anyone could have imagined." Then there was trouble. "Out of my way, you little pipsqueaks! I'm taking credit for finding this heap of scrap." The cars gasped. It was the meanest car in town, Ace Hicks and his whole gang. Boots Man, Ringo Man, Race Car Man, and for some reason his mother. "Do we know them for?" she asked. "Now get lost, you lot! We'll take it from here." He revved closer and closer to the gang. He was about to bump them when Lightning McChance revved his engine loudly. "Kiss my V8, you cheap dime store hood," he fumed sternly. "This ain't over, McChance." And they spent most of the day arguing, but in the end it was Ace Hits that took the heap of scrap. But the cast never forgot that wonderful summer, and in the end they all went in their separate ways. Docky went on to create a new motorsport race called Don't Feel Sorry for Us, Old Car. That's a type of NASCAR sort of sport. Mate grew up and went on to marry Rebecca Romaine's sports car, at the same time as a star from Stand By Me. Ram grew up to become a famous Hollywood stunt car. But unfortunately, in the first week he had an accident in the water and we couldn't get his engine fixed properly. So in the end, his engine died, which meant he died, and he was removed from that very spot. And they don't even know if he was saved from scrap or not. Not bad, said James loftily.
"But it's not even a happy ending,"
whimpered Percy. "Ah," said Thomas, "but there is. It turned out that he was saved from scrap by someone."
"Who?"
asked Percy. He was puzzled. "I'll explain in the morning. And besides, the wind stopped. Right now, give me... And he let out a great big yawn. "Right now, I just want to get a good night's sleep."
Me too. Night-night, Thomas,"
puffed Percy. And all the engines went happily to sleep, now that the wind had stopped. The next morning, the wind had died down. Percy was asking questions about the story. "Will you stop asking about it? It's just a story," huffed James. "James, for the last time, it took place in the 50s, so it's true." But James didn't believe him. "Yeah, right, and he was saved from scrap by the Fat Controller." He puffed snootily onto the turntable. Then he gasped. There in the shed was exactly the same car as Ram in Thomas's story. "Bust my buffers! It's Ram! He's come back from scrapped!" "Where?" asked Stanley. He rushed out and bumped James off the turntable. Thomas chuckled. "Don't mummy, guys. It's not really Ram. It's only Ramon with his new paint job." Ramon turned around. "Hey, morning, guys. What do you think of my new paint job, man?" And all the engines chuckled and laughed. It was a really funny joke. And as for James, he got his just desserts. And his bumps.